Hi all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology. And today, North Node in Cancer through the houses, exploring how the combination of North Node synchronizes with each of the houses so that you can begin to understand your skills, your expertise, your challenges, and your soul purpose as depicted by this house and sign combination. I love talking about the North Node. I've been loving this series. If you gain any value through this video, if you could just drop a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel drawn to, send it to a friend who you know has this placement. And without further ado, let's dive in. North Node in Cancer, South Node in Capricorn. Just to make it clear, if you have North Node Cancer, this automatically means that you have South Node Capricorn. So you don't need to click away. I'm not getting confused. It's an automatic. It's a certainty. And throughout the course of this video, I will be talking and referring to past life. If past lives are not something that resonates with you, I want you to just fill in early in life or whatever does resonate with you. It's not an absolute, it's just a certain branch of astrology and the astrology that has resonated with me. So that's typically how I speak as. Feel free to put in what works for you. So to understand where you're going, which is depicted by North Node Cancer, we must first understand where you've been, which is South Node Capricorn. So Capricorn is the boss of the zodiac, the CEO. You instinctively have a knack for achieving your goals and for breaking down big lofty goals into doable steps to realize what's not working. And you bring with you into this lifetime heaps of ambition. You have more-itis, I like to call it. As soon as you achieve one thing, it's on to the next, it's on to the next. You know how to succeed because you've succeeded for many lifetimes. This South Node story really indicates that you have found it easy to accumulate business acumen, to succeed, to make lots of money, to be a manager, to be a boss, right? That's what you're bringing with you. But if you stay there, you're losing out on this opportunity to grow as depicted as North Node Cancer. North Node symbolizes what we didn't really get in past lives. So while you were running the show, you were the manager, you were the boss, you didn't really get the opportunity to tap into what you were feeling and to really nurture heart-centered ambitions and to take care of things, to really grow them from the soil up. You were so concerned on the final figures, on the success, on the achievement, on what it looked like, that you didn't really get to enjoy the process of becoming. The journey of arriving to that. You were so concerned on status and reputation and earning respect and commanding respect wherever you were, that when it comes to interpersonal relationships, when it comes to employees, when it comes to anyone that you interact with, there's a tendency to be all business all the time. And you also in past lives, and maybe you've even found early in this life, you shut down your emotions. You do not like being vulnerable because there's been this past life story where you were always the one in charge. So you didn't really have the space and the time to be vulnerable. You had to be the one who held it together for everyone else. So in this lifetime, it could be challenging for you to tap into how you are feeling, as well as to accept other people's feelings. So the interesting thing about this North Node story is that you sort of act towards other people how you act to yourself, in that when there is a problem, you automatically, how do we fix this? How do we fix it? Just looking at the structures and what needs to be done in order to solve this issue or this problem. And you tend to push aside emotions. That tends to be not important. That's not your main concern. What's important to you is succeeding and being seen as someone who is respected and achieving your ambitions. But what's interesting is that you can find in this lifetime, you might be denied that success that you so crave and desire until you learn how to soften a little bit, to be more vulnerable with yourself and with others. When someone comes to you with a problem, rather than putting on your Capricorn South Node hat and being like, okay, how do we fix this? This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Taking that moment to feel for them and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. Because you'll find when you soften towards other people, you also soften towards yourself. Because you've been someone in past lives, there was no time to be upset. There was no time to be like, oh, I don't know, to be wishy-washy. You had to lead. But in this lifetime, you're given the cosmic space for you to be able to soften a little bit, explore your vulnerability, and take care of something and to nurture something. So you could find whether that is having a child, whether that is having a plant, whether that is having a home base, a foundation is something that's really soothing for your soul. Because in past lives, it could have been you're so busy achieving and being this person in the spotlight that you didn't really get that space to just be in your own safe foundation, to really attune to growing your plants and taking care of your animals and taking care of your children, because those are tasks that there's no illustrious number that you need to hit. There's no ceremony that awards you a medal for growing, fiddle leaf fig. And there's no, accolades when you are taking care of a cat, right? But it feels good. And this life is about tapping more into what feels good, what feels heart-centered, and letting go of what looks good. So, and it's a challenge, right? With North Node, you might find that Cancerian themes around home, around family, around emotions don't feel comfortable. You're much more comfortable achieving your goals, being seen in the public light as something, because there can be a past life story where you, even though you come off as very authoritative and very like boss-like energy, it could be coming from a place of insecurity. You feel like you have to do all these things in order to prove your worth. Whereas North Node in Cancer is about just realizing intrinsically you are valuable, you are worthy, your emotions are valuable, and learning how to nurture yourself, others, plants, projects. Not to say that business isn't a good match in this lifetime, because truly wherever we have our South Node, we tend to be quite gifted. So with South Node Capricorn, you are quite gifted in business, but you'll find if you're constantly like achieving and out there in the world without tapping inward, that a success that you create will feel sort of empty and hollow. It's like deja vu all over again. It's like another lifetime where it's like, okay, here I am, the CEO, and I'm just like lonely and miserable with this lifetime. So it's not about chasing what looks good. It's about what feels good, even if it's not as lauded by the public, even if it's not as impressive, even if it's not as glamorous. Tapping into what feels good and nurturing heart-centered projects. So taking that South Node Capricorn, surely you can run a successful business if you want to, but ensuring that it's something that your heart is in, that you create the space within your life to tap more into your emotions, to tap more into your home base, to take care of things. Not everyone with this nodal story is meant to be a parent, of course. It can manifest in a lot of different ways, but there can be a story around learning the value in matters that are a little bit more private, in having things that you're proud of that not everyone needs to clap you on for. So I'll be taking this through house. Please keep in mind the risings that I write below and that I mention are simply if you're using whole sign house. It might be if you use Placidus, but if you do use Placidus house system, make sure to go by whatever house I am talking about rather than your rising sign, okay? Because it's not exact. Sometimes, you're a Cancer rising, but the North Node is actually in your 12th house. So make sure to pay attention to the house placement. If you're a whole sign, all good. And let's start with Aries risings. So Aries rising, North Node Cancer in the 4th house, South Node Capricorn in the 10th house. So for you, you were definitely someone successful. I would even venture to say you were someone famous in a past life, if that's something that resonates for you. But it was definitely about what people saw of you. And you really neglected yourself hardcore. Like this is a sort of energy where you had reached such a accumulation within your career that everyone was like clapping you on and like, wow, I wish I could be like that person. But it's almost the energy where you come home at night, it's like 11 p.m. and you're making like microwave pasta and you're like, there's gotta be more to life than this. It's like adored by many in the public and then like loved by no one in private because you push people away on that pursuit to success. So it's really important to avoid any sort of like at all costs sort of thinking, like I've got to succeed no matter what. And to really draw back your ambition and to source where that ambition is coming from. Why do I want to be a doctor? Is it because I think it would be impressive? A lot of your goals you could find could come from non-heart-centered places, which is really what we're trying to avoid with this particular nodal story, is being able to move away from things that are just for show, just to look good in a certain way, and tap into things that might be a little bit more private, but feel good on the inside. You could also find that you are very, very interested in family, in roots, in ancestry. It could be beneficial for your soul to dive into it, whether you have a good relationship with your family or not. And a lot of people with this house story will try to like run away from where they've been. They're like, as soon as I can make it out there, I'll be happy in here. But this is a sort of energy where it's about coming inwards to boomerang outwards in a sense. It's not that you won't be successful, but it's really important for you to address what it is that you're running from before you sort of succeed, or else you'll find that the success that you've chased just magnetized all of those core like wounds and trauma around like home or family or anything of that nature. So with North Node 4th house in Cancer, it would also say, Real estate could be very, very profitable for you. You could find a lot of pride in owning a home. You could find a lot of pride in building a family unit and building your own home, and creating a space where you can like unwind at the rest of the day and really working towards work-life balance. You've sacrificed many lifetimes working, your life away, being seen in the public eye, and this lifetime is about being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor by relaxing at home, by taking care of plants, by taking care of pets. And, it could be labor from past lifetimes that you're sort of balancing out here and learning to feel, right? And to embrace your own emotions rather than sort of pushing them to the side. I apologize for the uneven audio. I just wanted to expand on this because I did not mention in the video that North Node in Cancer in the 4th house often shows up in individuals who are here to heal generational or ancestral trauma or things that were passed along through the family lines. Could be emotional patterns that were passed along in the family lines, whether you have a great relationship with your family or not. There can be a need with this nodal story around nurturing where it is that you've come from to get to where you are meant to go and healing sort of that ancestry or those roots. There can also be, with this nodal story, a desire to want to take over the family business, even though with South Node 10th house, you'd probably be more comfortable running away from your past, running away from where you come from. There can be an emphasis here in diving into private matters around the family, taking over the family business, things of that nature. Taurus rising, North Node Cancer in the 3rd house, South Node Capricorn in the 9th house. So for you achieved this success, right, in the public eye, and it definitely feels like with 9th house, you could have been some sort of like religious leader or some sort of professor or something where a lot of people came to you seeking answers and you were the authority. You had to know what you were talking about. You couldn't waffle back and forth whatsoever. And so you can find in this lifetime, there's almost this know-it-all tendency where you're like, I have all the answers, and you don't even let other people maybe speak at some times, just because you do have a lot of wisdom. So I'm not trying to take that away from you, but because in so many past lifetimes, it was like you were up on a podium talking to many people. What you were lacking in was an ability just to like come down to earth and have conversations with people and just hear one another. And you can definitely struggle with wanting to provide a solution and a structure for everyone who comes to you for advice, but I really want you to lean into listening and to emotionally feeling for that person rather than stepping in with logic and rationale and all the things that I know you South Node Capricorns are good at. Taking that opportunity to listen and also being mindful that wisdom can come to you from others as well. Like you do carry a lot of spirituality, a lot of wisdom within you, but there can be a tendency where you're like, I'm the authority on this subject and I don't need anyone to tell me anything. But with North Node Cancer in the 3rd house, you're learning how to both transmit the knowledge that you have via conversations, as well as receive knowledge from the everyday person, the person around you. You are encouraged to follow your heart in terms of any skills that you want to pursue, certifications, classes. With South Node 9th house, you might feel like you're only successful if you have a certain amount of degrees and if it looks very good in the public eye. With North Node 3rd house in Cancer, it could be learning, a trade that your heart is in, that you feel, passionate about. It could be doing something around talking with emotion, something like therapy, something of the nature, which it's really important for you to practice receiving as well as talking. Like you do bring with you this authoritative nature with South Node Capricorn, but with North Node 3rd house, it's about being able to like relax into that flow and relax into interpersonal connections and allow yourself to need other people. With North Node Cancer, you're learning to be vulnerable. So this could even be, being open to hiring people for like tasks that you're not comfortable with, or taking classes from other people, learning different skills, things of that nature. Gemini rising, North Node Cancer in the 2nd house, South Node Capricorn in the 8th house. So in past lives, you could have been someone who was in a very high profile relationship, or at least made a lot of money with your partner. Oftentimes when you have South Node 8th house, either someone else was supporting you or you and your partner sort of built together, right? And there could be a lack of trust in yourself to go out and to make money. It could be your comfort zone, allowing other people to support you. And there also could be this eternal sort of chasing of like, I want that and I want that and I want that. And what would be the term I would use to describe this? It's sort of like very, very high standards and high taste. You've got a champagne taste, darling. So there could be a sensation of like, I'm not successful until I have the yacht and 7 forms of passive income and can fly to Morocco at a whim's notice. Like, you have high standards, and you could want to, you know, date people who are very, very wealthy to sort of achieve that amount of success within your lifetime. There could be a tendency. With North Node Cancer in the 2nd house, it is about learning that you can be a self-sufficient person. Now, I'm not saying you can never receive support from other people, but North Node in 2nd house is sort of the muscle you're working on strengthening in this lifetime, which is about honoring your own value to earn an income for yourself outside of just partnering with business partners or spouses or things of the nature. With North Node 2nd house, you are supported in being able to earn an income for yourself. And a lot of people have a very, very natural knack. I would definitely, with this combination, trust your instincts around certain investments, certain purchases, real estate, things of that nature, because you can have a really good, sharp skill for being able to time the market right, as Cancer is associated with trends and it's in the 2nd house of money. And it's almost like trusting yourself enough, you know, to be able to go out and earn an income or make a good investment rather than letting all of your power be swallowed up within a partnership, right? And with North Node Cancer, there's also this journey around healing and processing your own emotions and your healing. Another component of this axis that you could be coming from a past life or early in life where there was a lot of drama, where there was a lot of merged energy, where you were someone who sort of had to be the strong one for other people with South Node Capricorn, and you had to suppress your own emotions in order, because there was so much drama or intensity going on around you that it was like a trauma response. You just cut off that part. And in this lifetime, it's about learning your own value firstly, because there could be a component to this where you had to devalue yourself. You had to hide, you had to shrink, make yourself as small as possible. With North Node 2nd house, beginning to value yourself. And one of those ways will be through money, being like, I'm worthy of purchasing myself nice things. My services are worth this much money. I am worth something on this planet. And learning to sort of nurture yourself with North Node Cancer, tapping into your own emotions and tapping into your own instincts as well is a huge component with this particular house and sign combination. Cancer rising, North Node Cancer 1st house, South Node Capricorn 7th house. So you have a past life gift around being able to partner with others. And with Capricorn emphasized here, you could have built things with other people, right? And it could be that, you know, you always felt like to be successful, you needed a partner. Like you're just looking for your other half, and you feel like that's when life can start, right? And there can be a tendency in partnerships that it could be people who are very cold or people who are almost business-like in a sense. You could be someone where you feel like you need to be supported by a partner in some facet. And you also shut down your emotions and shut down your partner's emotions as well. And with North Node 1st house, you are learning to prioritize yourself, right? And you're learning to prioritize your own comfort and emotions with Cancer. Because with this combination, there can be a tendency to push what you are feeling to the side. Don't have time for this, don't have time for this. And also in relationships, you struggle with being vulnerable. You struggle with allowing that mask go down, because there can be this past life story of feeling like that mask needs to be up in order to attract the person that you want into your life. With North Node Cancer, it's tapping into, how do I feel about this? Does this person make me feel safe? And prioritizing it back to yourself. Now, Cancer is a very nurturing energy. I'm not saying that this is going to be a lifetime of, you know, being on your own or anything of the like, but it's tapping into your own emotions, to your own habits, your trends before merging energy with someone else, because you found it all the more easy in past incarnations to merge with someone else to create this like business partnership, and then neglecting your own needs. Like, hey, this is what I need in a relationship, because you've taken that time to learn about yourself, to learn about your emotions, to learn about your triggers. And it's also about learning this nodal theory, learning how to voice how it is that you're feeling. You've had past life experience of constantly suppressing what it was that you were feeling to make the person that you were with either more comfortable or to, you know, get business done, right? It does feel like with this combination, you guys were like a business power duo. And in this lifetime, this same thing won't fly. You'll find that it's just deja vu all over again if you're in relationships that are dry, that are very business oriented, that don't allow you the space and the grace to be yourself within your own emotions. So with North Node Cancer, tap into your intuition, tap into your emotions, and tap into your independence. Leo rising, North Node Cancer in the 12th house, South Node Capricorn in the 6th house. So for you, this combination definitely feels like you had many employees. You could be someone who is like quite the taskmaster, like always needs to be busy. You are very, very hard on yourself if you have even a second of downtime. You could be someone who constantly needs to be going. You could be a little bit of a worrywart, always concerned with all of the little details of your life. And that's sort of a past life theme for you. And there was a coldness that you exerted towards your employees. And in this lifetime, you're tapping into nurturing for both yourself and for others. And to be quite frank, this combination does speak to someone who is very gifted in terms of healing. But it's important for you to embody that for other people. You first must embody it for yourself. So with North Node 12th house, learning to be more comfortable with when you need rest, with when you need downtime, with when you need solitude, with, with South Node Capricorn 6th house, you just keep bulldozing through your tasks, even if you're exhausted, even if you need a break. So with North Node Cancer, you're learning about your cycles and you're learning about when you need alone time, when you feel, energetic, all of those components of yourself, and sort of shifting out of that more, or that do sort of mindset to lean more into a little bit of a softer way of navigating the world, leaning more into, alone time, being able to work on yourself, as well as diving into any sort of emotional healing that you need to do. 12th house is the subconscious mind. So while it may make you more comfortable to deal with rational, logical matters as depicted with your South Node 6th house, you can find that with North Node 12th house, particularly in Cancer, this is a lifetime that is sort of forcing you to work on what's underneath. What are the emotional messages that you were told from childhood that still sort of run your life? I always think of 12th house, it's like right next to the first house, right? And first house is very visible. I always think of someone who's standing right on the AC line facing towards the first house. And 12th house is right behind because it's sort of all of the stuff that we can't see but dominates our mindset, how we view the world, right? Because Ascendant is how we view the world and how the world views us. And with 12th house, it's sort of all the junk that we throw back, all of like the trauma, everything that we escape from, everything that we run is the 12th house. In this particular journey, you're diving into it in that lifetime. Like this is sort of a lifetime that's forcing you to acknowledge your emotions, many of which could have been repressed, and sort of learning how it is to feel and to heal other people. Honestly, a lot of individuals with this can be natural healers or learning how to be more spiritual. Many people can work in hospitals or in prisons or in other places where people are disenfranchised. They can work with mental illness, things of that nature. Think, the population that has been largely ignored by society. And with North Node Cancer, leaning in with this sense of nurturing rather than South Node Capricorn, which is like must do the task. North Node Cancer, how can I take care of these individuals who are in need of healing, whether it is physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, etc. My Virgo risings, North Node Cancer in the 11th house, South Node Capricorn in the 5th house. So for you, my loves, you are diving into how to nurture a community. And with South Node Capricorn 5th house, it feels like with this combination, you were someone who was a highly successful creative in some way. And even in this lifetime, you could feel like creativity is only valuable if it is successful, and even like monetize everything that it is that you've worked on. And it's amazing because you bring with you a natural knack for creating things, for self-expression, but it's important to this lifetime that you allow that creativity to nurture a bigger cause rather than just feed your own like bank account or ambitions. Because with North Node 11th house, you are here to work with large audiences or groups of people. Think friendships, groups, organizations, but it's not so much about like stepping up and being like, I am the manager, I am the lead, because that's your South Node Capricorn. It's about stepping into a new way of leadership, of what is it that you all need so that I can lead you more effectively, listening to the desires of your community, if that's where you step up, or the PTA group, or whatever it is that you're leading, getting out of that ego mindset of being like, I'm always right and this is what it takes to succeed, and sort of softening to be like, how is it that I can support you? How is it that I can nurture this cause or this mutual goal of ours or this group or this organization? Sort of leaning more into how is it that I can serve to a bigger way, and sort of like nurture. Also with South Node 5th house, Capricorn, there could be a tendency to be a little hedonistic at times. I know. People don't think that with Capricorn. Capricorn in tarot is actually the devil. With Capricorn, it's an earth sign, so it can be a very lusty sign. So with Capricorn in the 5th house, there could have been in past lives, you know, working very hard and then playing very hard. And there wasn't really the space to be able to nurture the causes or, you know, the legacy that you wanted to leave on people. So with North Node Cancer 11th house, a lot of this lifetime is structured around how can I reach the most people around this heart-centered cause that I am super passionate about. My Libra risings, North Node Cancer in the 10th house, South Node Capricorn in the 4th house. And I know these seem backwards, but hear me out. So this combination does feel like to me, like either in a past life or early in life, there could have been some sort of family business or family expectations around what it took to succeed and what was not successful or considered appropriate or respectful. With South Node 4th house Capricorn, there could be a tendency from where you come from, put a lot of pressure on you. Like you felt like you had to succeed in these particular ways. And you can even find that you go down avenues of chasing, whether it's like the family business, or what your family wanted you to do, or that you didn't really have space to hone in on, okay, what is it that I really feel passionate about building and creating? There was this feeling that your fate had been decided by where you came from and that you had to achieve in these sort of ways, and you had to be strong and tough, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. Maybe there was a lot of pressure for you to be a provider for your family or something of that nature. So now, while South Node 4th house does give you natural abilities when it comes to real estate, when it comes to home, when it comes to family, it might be scary for you to put yourself out there and do something different. Maybe do something different than what your family did. Maybe move away from a home. Maybe be seen in the public light. But with North Node Cancer in the 10th house, your soul really wants to experience that feeling of being able to follow something heart-centered, something that feels good, something that you're emotionally invested in, and be seen for it. And with this combination, you could find something such as nurturing a cause, something that in careers that involve nurturing could be emphasized with this. So it could be around hospitality, hotels, taking care of kids, gardening. Think of nurturing, right? And you could find, even though your South Node Capricorn will be like, this isn't ambitious enough, it doesn't look as good in the public eye as other particular careers would be. It's about really tapping in and being a little bit more receptive to other people's needs, and you can find that feels very, very fulfilling to a soul level. And I apologize, my phone keeps going off. It's in the other room, and I just do not want to turn it. I just do not want to go and turn it off. So I apologize. So with North Node Cancer in the 10th house, I know they seem like opposites, but it is about fleshing out your potential in a career way, but it makes sure it's true to you, that it honors your emotions, that it honors your work-life balance, that you feel like you can nurture something that is bigger than yourself, and not being so concerned with these are the numbers and you know, all of those things that the Capricorn South Node will whisper in your ear, but being able to soften and be a leader in a more receptive way, and being able to nurture, whether it is staff or whether it is the people at a hotel or whether it is people at the restaurant, being able to take care of people and be receptive to their needs rather than feeling like this is what's right. Being able to be like, how can I support you? How can I serve you in a more of a public way so that you can, you know, serve more people, and ensuring that your goals are heart-centered rather than just what your family wanted you to do or what you felt like was the right thing to do because of where you came from. And also sometimes with this nodal story, you do have to get away from your hometown in some way in order to pursue this higher calling or ambition. My Scorpio risings, your North Node in Cancer is in your 9th house, South Node in Capricorn in the 3rd house. So for you, this is again a little bit of a know-it-all, know-it-all combination with South Node Capricorn. You're the one who has all the answers, and you could find that when you give advice, you come from very logical, this is what you need to do sort of mind state. With North Node Cancer in the 9th house, it's about nurturing bigger abstract causes. You know, with South Node Capricorn in the 3rd house, you like to stick to things that make sense. You like to stick to things that are logical. You like to stick to things that your brain can sort of wrap itself around, as 3rd house is sort of practical knowledge, whereas 9th house is like, what is the meaning of life? It is, what do you believe in? What happens after we die? It's these bigger questions that can't be quite grasped by you or don't exactly fit into your mathematical understanding of the world. And that could be scary for you, because with South Node Capricorn, there's this feeling that you always need to be in charge and that you always need to be the one who's got it together, the one who can lead, so on and so forth. So it can make you feel out of control when you're questioning these concepts where it's like, I don't know what happens after we die. I don't know what I believe in. It can make you feel a little helpless. And with South Node Capricorn, there can be a tendency to equate your worth with how much you succeed or grasp or can, fix things for other individuals. So with North Node Cancer in the 9th house, you are here to pursue a higher calling for yourself, a bigger picture vision. And some people find this through religion. Some people find this through spirituality. Some people find this through travel. Some people find this through publishing. These are all 9th house themes. It's how we expand our mind and getting out of this sort of like, here is my opinion and I've got to know it all, and diving into a field of study where it's like, this is what this is something that makes me feel uncomfortable, but it feels resonant. It could be studying some sort of new age topic or some sort of spirituality that you enjoy. It could be, being someone who is a leader in these fields, but it's important, not a Capricorn sort of leader where it's like, this is what you should do, but like nurturing a community, nurturing a church, nurturing a group of individuals, doing moon circles, things of that nature where you all are connected to this bigger picture idea or this idea of healing. So I want you to shift out of telling people what to do, but I want you to lean into studying and pursuing this bigger picture vision or cause or field of study, and being able to create space to nurture it, both your own study as well as the other people if you choose to take a leadership role within that. And just this combination makes me think, because North Node Cancer is associated with hospitality, with 9th house, maybe like travel hospitality, or someone who's like a travel agent or something like that, being receptive to the other person's needs in order to plan them a perfect trip, something of the nature, just to consider. So my Sagittarius risings, North Node Cancer in the 8th house, South Node Capricorn in the 2nd house. So for you, you were definitely a breadwinner in a past life, and you might feel super uncomfortable by even the thought of relinquishing any control, whether it's finances or anything else. Like with South Node Capricorn, you know what's what, you know what the right thing to do, and you do bring with you a lot of financial sense, a lot of business acumen. But you're fearful of intimacy, you're fearful of merging. But it's interesting, this lifetime you could find that success eludes you until you learn how to sort of nurture into a partnership. Because with South Node Capricorn 2nd house, you most certainly had moritis. And what I mean by moritis is constantly chasing more money, more success, more. There's a constant chase around it, and you were the one doing it, and you felt like the only one you could count on was yourself. The only one other people could count on was yourself. And in this lifetime, it's about partnership. It's about perhaps even like getting married and merging your, finances and energy together to create something that's more powerful than it would have been on your own. It could even be being supported by a partner. It could be supporting a partner. There is this theme around being a little bit more receptive to other people's needs, being a nurturer. So it could be, nurturing this shared business that the two of you have, nurturing passive income streams. With South Node 2nd house, you're the sort of person where you like to chase and you like to do and you like to earn the money. With North Node 8th house, it's about viewing money in a different way, viewing money as energy, perhaps, as a business partnership, going all in together in order to create something that sort of nurtures the two of you. It's not necessarily a self-based lifetime, this particular lifetime. It's about what can happen when we come together and create, and to view money in a different way rather than I clock in, I clock out, I sell this amount, I get this much, and to view money in terms of investments, in terms of partnerships, in terms of passive income, things of that nature, to free up a little bit more of your time. Because to be quite frank, your past life, you've probably been exhausted. I mean, this is typically a high earner and someone who had to work for the money that they came in. So being able to use your money sense, because with South Node 2nd house, you do have a gift when it comes to money and it comes to strategy with Capricorn, but to be able to pursue more heart-centered matters or family-centered matters or private matters with North Node Cancer by shifting money in a different way, by, investments or things of the nature, by nurturing a shared relationship where the two of you can combine financial funds, or by nurturing a business partnership where the two of you can, make more money together. Not comfortable, but that's your journey. So my Capricorn risings, North Node Cancer in the 7th house, South Node Capricorn in the 1st house. Now this is not going to be easy to hear because North Node is always where we're uncomfortable. And for you as a Capricorn rising, you have always been the doer. I found oftentimes with Capricorn risings and South Node Capricorn, there could be a early in life or past life story around you having to grow up before you were necessarily ready to. Like you were the one who was the old soul. You were the one who took care of your siblings. You were the one who lived through something where you had to have it all together. So it was not safe for you to show vulnerability. So in this lifetime, you shut down. You were like, I've got it. I don't need anyone else. No, thank you. I've got it all together. And you wear a mask sometimes of feeling like you always have to have it together. You're always the one in charge. You're always the manager. With North Node Cancer in 7th house, it's about learning to soften into partnerships, to be vulnerable with your emotions, to know that we don't have to do it all by ourselves. And you'll notice your South Node's acting up when you feel the tendency to be like, oh, I'll just do it myself, or just run away from partnership because you're like, I can't trust you. With North Node Cancer, 7th house, you're learning to nurture a relationship. You're learning that when you can take care of something and take care of another person, the two of you can create something even more powerful than what you could have been on your own. You can find also with this nodal cycle that you can succeed all you want, but if you don't have anyone to share it with, you know, it can feel a little lonely and hollow. In this life, a lot of your blessings will come through other people and come through when you put down your guard enough to be vulnerable with your emotions with others, as well as be receptive to the emotions that other people show you. Aquarius rising, North Node Cancer in the 6th house, South Node Capricorn in the 12th house. So for you, there can be a tendency of escapism, and your primary vehicle of escapism, whether it's early in life or in past lives, was through work. It was like you were always busy working that people could not access you. That was the way that you locked yourself away. Or it could be you kept yourself sort of isolated by achieving. It was like you always sort of met people in a rather cold way, and it sort of kept yourself isolated. It kept yourself removed. And with North Node 6th house, it's about interacting with other individuals. With North Node Cancer in 6th house, you could even find this lifetime, it could be about nurturing a staff, like not feeling like you have to do all on your own and be isolated and be, you know, in your solitude, but being able to nurture a staff, to realize like, wow, true entrepreneurship or true success is when I, can accumulate enough that I can support these individuals. Like that's a really powerful thing. Not saying you necessarily have to have a staff. That's just a common expression with this. And it's like learning to be a little bit more warm in those interactions. With South Node Capricorn, they do tend towards melancholy quite a bit. So with North Node Cancer in 6th house, learning that when you take care of the people who work for you, they will, stay with you for a long time. So learning how to soften, be receptive to their needs. Other manifestations, if you're like, I don't want to hire anyone, would be, nurturing pets would be an amazing combination for this. Nurturing plants, those daily tasks where it's like you're not so concerned on the end result on, climbing to the top of the mountain, but being part of the process, being like, wow, there's a new leaf, that's so amazing. Or, oh my gosh, little Whiskers, it can now stand on his feet. Whatever it is, being anchoring into your daily routine enough to like witness all of those sort of miracles. Also with this combination, you could be really into nutrition, to the effects that health has on your body, to your energetic cycles, things of that nature. You could be someone who wants to, you want to make healthy food for other people at a restaurant, or you could be someone who's like a personal trainer, nurturing someone else's physical goals or health goals. It really is about making yourself available via these services, because with South Node 12th house, you have a lot of gifts, and honestly, you have a lot of like healing ability, to be quite frank, but you kept yourself isolated. You sort of kept yourself away from people. You kept yourself sort of locked up. With this life, it's about making yourself a little bit more accessible, attending to your daily routine, nurturing things as part of your daily routine, as well as showing up in service, showing up for your staff members if you choose to go down that route, and also diving into your daily routine. With North Node Cancer, it is associated with phases and trends and energetic cycles. So it even could be paying attention to the times of the month where you feel like you have more energy, and being able to co-create a schedule that sort of honors your ebbs and flows, rather than with South Node Capricorn being overly disciplined and committed and not letting yourself have that leeway. This lifetime really is about learning how to, yes, maybe structure your daily routine in ways that will be nurturing for yourself, but giving yourself that leeway if you feel, more exhausted that day, maybe a an employee of yours can pick up a little bit more of that slack, or maybe you have to take little whiskers to the doctor, being able to let go of some of your tasks in order to handle that. It's about being able to both achieve your goals via your daily routine, as well as lend yourself the space to be a human being, because you're not a machine. And then my Pisces risings, North Node Cancer in the 5th house, South Node Capricorn in the 11th house. So this is another classic combination of more-itis. 11th house is also hopes and dreams. So with this in Capricorn, there was a constant more. As soon as you achieved one thing, it was on to the next. And you also were very concerned on what other people thought of your particular profession or your aims. You're very tied into what other people valued, right? And that was what you found valuable, is what other people found respected and what other people found important. That was what you put your energy into. And with North Node Cancer, 5th house, it's about nurturing causes that feel good. 5th house is play. 5th house is love, romance, children. So with some with this particular combination, you find that they are here to be a parent. That is something that they didn't really get the opportunity to do in past lives. In this lifetime, it could feel really intrinsically rewarding to be able to nurture a human being in that way and to be present for it. Other avenue, 5th house is creativity. So these individuals could be learning about what feels good for them to create and tapping into their creativity and tapping into that sense of play, right? And not being so concerned on how is this art going to be received or what are other people going to say about it, but tap into how did it feel to create that? How did it feel to be able to alchemize my emotions into this work of art? Also giving yourself permission to play, to have fun. With South Node 11th house Capricorn, you were such a hard worker and you likely led or managed a lot of people in a past life, if that resonates, or in your early life, you were constantly feeling like you had to achieve. That was how you knew you were valuable, is when other people told you you're valuable. In this lifetime, it's about knowing that you are valuable because you are a human being and learning to sort of nurture yourself as much as you nurture whether you have a child or you nurture your creative projects. You know, when someone's like working on something like a novel, they're like, oh, it's my baby. You know, you pour so much love into it. So that's why I think self-expression and children are in the same house, because it's sort of like working towards something that's a little bit more private, a little bit more personal, but it feels good. It feels like you. It's creativity, it's self-expression, rather than doing what everyone else wanted you to do or what looked like success in the outside eye. You'll always know you've gotten off course if you're sort of chasing ambitions just because you think it'll look good to other people. And with South Node 11th house, you're very naturally tapped into humanitarian causes, so you could feel guilty in experiencing play, in falling in love, and experiencing pleasure. But this lifetime is about that. And also nurturing within love relationships, being able to let down the guard while you're falling in love. That's definitely represented by this, because you likely didn't really get that drama and fun and excitement of falling in love in past lifetimes. And with South Node Capricorn, there's like this vibe where you're very serious and you could sort of meet people in this almost like serious sort of managerial way. And it's about learning to like soften and like find a little fun, have a little fun. With South Node Capricorn 11th house, you could be the natural, you know, sort of manager, the one who's always planning things for your friends or managing things for your friends. With North Node 5th house, it's about leaning into also having fun when you get there, not always having to have your serious boss or manager cap on. Friends, what did you think? Please comment below. I would love to know your particular North Node in Cancer and house combination. I'll be posting North Node in Leo in 2 weeks' time, so look out for that. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.